back, everybody, to another episode of Murg Mayhem, where one take can cause mayhem. It is a Tuesday, February 27th. This time we're recording it's 12:48. So I just want to give you a recap of what happened yesterday around the sports world. So in yesterday's episode, we talked about a little bit of spring training. I just want to give you an update because I said that two players that I was watching were playing, or their teams were playing. Colt Keith ended up finishing the game 1 for 3 or 1 for 2 or something like that. He ended up getting a hit. So he's consistently being one of the better players. They are playing today, but I will give you an overview tomorrow when they do. But yeah, so we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna jump in with the baseball stuff today. I know I did NBA last night or yesterday. Well, there's really not a lot of stuff going on in here today. Brandon Crawford, I just want to bring him up because yesterday I said he was linked to St. Louis. He ended up inking a deal with St. Louis. I'm not sure how long, but it's mostly going to be for a year. I kind of talked a lot about him yesterday, so I don't really need to talk about him today. But yeah, he's going to bring some really good defense and infield depth to this team, and as long as postseason experience and everything like that. The Dodgers ended up trading Manuel Margot, who they recently got in the offseason with Tyler Glasnow. They traded him to the Twins for a prospect, Noah Miller. Don't really know a lot about him. He's very, very young. He's 21, so he most likely got drafted a few years ago. But he's an infielder, so shortstop, second base. They probably traded for him just in case Gavin Lux doesn't come back, or at least the way that he was, because he did tear his ACL last year in spring training. So, but Gavin Lux has been bouncing back from that injury, and he's been playing. I haven't really seen a lot of him in spring training, but the stuff that I've heard, he's been performing. Not as of old, but he's coming back and playing pretty decent. Speaking of the Dodgers, another thing for the Dodgers, Kike Hernandez is coming back. Kike Hernandez has been a good playoff player for the Dodgers. Ever since 2017, he's been one of the best playoff performers they've had, and he re-signed with them yesterday, and he broke the news himself instead of like ESPN or Jeff Passan or Buster Olney doing it. Mostly, he just went on Twitter and said, "I'm re-signing with the Dodgers. I'm coming back." So, Kike Hernandez, career 239 hitter. He's not really he's a good hitter, but throughout the season, he's going to hit around the 250, 270 range. But yeah, so he's very versatile, can play basically a lot of positions, all the outfield positions, second and short. And with the Dodgers, I mean, Mookie Betts can play second and short. Gavin Lux can play outfield, second and short. So they have a very versatile infield and outfield that they can use at whatever time. But yeah, when playoff time is here, he's gonna be ready. He won the World Series with the Dodgers in 2020, and the Dodgers weren't able to re-sign him due to other, when they got Freddie Freeman in 21. So there's lots of things happened that year that the Dodgers weren't able to do financially. So, but yeah, he's coming back with the Dodgers. I'm very happy. He's one of my favorite players in the league. And Kike Hernandez, welcome back. The only other thing that happened is that Miguel Sano got signed to the Angels to a minor league deal earlier this offseason. He was formerly, or at least most known for his time with the Twins. He was an all-star with them, and he's kind of had a rough end of the stick. He's gotten injured quite a bit over in his career. The most games he's ever played is 135, and that was in 2021. He's not a guy that's going to be hitting for average. He's a power bat. Um, he's been an above average hitter most of his career. 2018 and 2018 is basically the exception. As long as 2022 last year, 2022, he was in the minors after 20 games. They just bumped him down. So he's been in the minor leagues. He's 30, but the Angels need all the hitting they can get because they are garbage, and they're getting a good power bat that can drive in runs. So I don't know if he's going to be the DH. I do know that he's got to make his way back up to the big leagues based off that minor league deal. But we'll see where it goes. I'm excited that he's back. He always hits the ball really really hard, and he was in the home run derby and he was hitting to the third deck in Minnesota. So best of luck to him. Hopefully he can get back to that All-Star year. But he played for the Twins, so it was very rare. I was just shocked that he made it that year. But then again, hopefully he can stay in the league a little bit longer and come back to what he used to be and having everybody give him the credit that he deserves. As far as NBA, well, hold on, I thought before I get into NBA, there's another prospect that or two prospects rather, that I want to harp on just a little bit. Austin Martin, he's with the Twins. He got drafted by the Blue Jays in 2020. That he was the 5th overall pick. He was playing fairly well in his first year in the minor leagues, playing pretty well, and then 93 games. That was basically a little bit over halfway through their minor league season. And then he got traded to the Twins when their season was over. And he's traveled a lot. According to MLB.com, when you look at the teams that he's played for quite a bit of teams. He's played in like three to five different leagues, and he was in AAA last year, hit 263, OPS almost 800. When you look at his strikeout to walk ratio, he only struck out 7 more times. So at Vanderbilt, he was a 300 career hitter over there. He's very versatile, can play second, can play third, short, center field. Basically, he's a utility. I do know that in the minor leagues or the MLB, if you've been in the minor leagues for so long, they're going to have to, in a while, bring you up. So hopefully this is his call-up year, because he's been in the league in the minors for 3 years now, going on 4. And it'll be fun to see him, just because the amount of the impact he could potentially bring to the Twins organization. Not only did Jorge Polanco get shipped to Seattle, but they have a young core already with Royce Lewis at short and Max Kepler. He's still young, but he's still part of that core that they have in right. And there's third baseman, I forgot his name. Jose Miranda, and I want him to have that shot in the opportunity that hopefully he will get it this year. Another prospect that I went to high school with, I didn't have the opportunity to play with him just because he was a few years older. When I was a freshman in high school, he was a senior. So, but I did watch a lot of him. I did practice with him a little bit. I didn't practice with him a lot, but when I did, made sure I watched and was around him as much as I could. But Tyler Gentry, he was picked in the 2020 draft as well. Instead of Martin being selected in the first, Gentry was selected in the third. Tyler went to the Walter State Community College, which is one of the best JUCOs in the country. and he hit like 300 over there, drove in almost 100, hit like 24 homers. He then, after that, transferred to Alabama, stayed there for 2 years, hit 300 there, and one of the better players in the SEC. He's a corner outfielder, but he could also play center as well. He's got the speed for it. Um, when he got drafted, he played 44 games in high A, and then that next year he was in high A for a little bit, dominated, and then he went to double A and just destroyed it in 22. 23, he came back, and he started off in triple A. They put him there, and he didn't do too bad. It's just as far as average, he had a 253 average, OPS almost 800 like Martin. Basically, they're almost the same person as far as um, average and OPS and everything like that goes. They're about the same guy. Um, I think Gentry is a slightly year older, but or at least a few months older, or whatever. Yeah, just a few months older. But yeah, I mean they both have outfield versatility. Martin can play the infield, obviously, but I mean as far as numbers go, they are about the same. Um, I would say Gentry might be a little bit faster potentially, um, but that was just because I've seen him play and I've seen how fast he truly is. But yeah, he has the opportunity to be called up too because he's been in the minors for 3 years, just about 3 years. So with the Royals with Gentry, I don't really know who they have as far as their outfielders. I mean, I don't really know why he wouldn't get the shot. Um, I mean, I just pulled their outfielders up now. I mean, Hunter Renfroe just signed there, so he's a veteran. Like center field, I feel like that spot's open. I mean, Drew Waters has been in the league and been up and down. Garrett Hampson, same thing, up and down. Um, MJ Melendez is a catcher, but I guess they're having him as an outfielder now. I've seen him behind the plate too, but I guess to conserve his legs and his career, they put him in the outfield, which isn't the dumbest thing in the world, but um, I would say that's pretty smart for them. And then Kyle Isbell, I don't really know who this dude is. Um, I know he's left-handed, but we'll hopefully Tyler Gentry could potentially get that spot over him. No offense, Isbell, but I want to see my guy on TV. But yeah, so those are the only prospects I have on watch um, for this year. Um, and this is where I'm going to go in the NBA recap of what happened yesterday. I mean, the Nets and Grizzlies played. I mean, like it's very hard to try to watch that game. Looks like the Nets outscored them in every quarter except for the third. Um, so it was. I mean, Memphis is playing with G Leaguers and bench guys without Ja, Desmond Bain, Marcus Smart, Steven Adams left, and I can't think of the other names. Oh, like we just have Memphis has zero size, and they're doing the best they can. Gigi Jackson didn't shoot well last night. Um, it just seemed like, yeah, none of them shot well at all. Period. And it's just Brooklyn's a better team. I mean that's all there is to say. Um, so that's what happened that night. Miami and the Kings played. Somehow they were able to come out with a win. Unfortunately, I had the late shift at work yesterday, so I was not able to watch all the games, or watch any of them. But Jimmy and Thomas Bryant are serving their suspensions. Bryant, I think, has another game or two left, and then this is the only game that Jimmy Butler is suspended for from that Pelicans Heat scuffle. Um, but they played well without him. Adebayo, true All Star numbers that he put up 28, 10, and 7 with a block and 2 steals. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. Stepped up, got 26 points last night. And Kevin Love was very efficient off the bench. Uh, was able to bring 19, and Haywood Highsmith was able to bring 15 points to the effort. So it was a combined effort. Um, they shot well. Kings did. Harrison Barnes didn't get a lot of touches last night, and neither did Sabonis, which is, Sabonis I would think would at least get a lot of touches. He only got 8 as far as field goal attempts, but he was 14 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists. So he ended up getting a triple-double. Keegan Murray shot the lights out, 28 points, 6 of 7 from 3. De'Aaron Fox, 27, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. It was a good game. Sacramento did get outscored in the third quarter, so that was a good assumption of what happened there. As far as turnovers, Sacramento, the Kings turned the ball a little bit, turned the ball over a little bit, and 3-point percentage. Miami didn't shoot very well from 3, but they were able to get 10 more points in the paint. So, that'll do it too. Even though Sabonis is a paint presence, Miami did get 10 more. So, but yeah, that's what happened in that game. Both teams were going at it, and
I've been drawing animals ever since I was little.
my bad. But yeah, hard-fought game, but Miami was able to pull it out. And so I'm going to talk about I'm saving the Knicks and Pistons last. That happened last night too. Pacers and Raptors played last night. This was a very good game. As far as points in the paint, that's what killed them. Indiana gave up 78 points in the paint, so they got outscored in the paint by 28. So that's not good. I know that Pacers are a 3-point shooting offense. That's what their MO is been throughout the entire season. But they shot 31%, and Toronto had it going from 3 and from the field in general. They shot 55% from the field and over 40% from 3 as a team. So once you have that going, it's very, very hard to stop them or stop any team for that matter. When you have stats
Claire
like that.
uses Asana.
Oh my God! I don't want. Sorry about that, gal. Don't know why. My different audio is playing right now. Oh, that's not what I want either. We'll try that. Let's see how that works. But yeah, so that's what happened. Barrett, 24. Ever since he's gotten back to his hometown or his home country in Canada, he's been playing incredibly well. 24 last night. Scotty Barnes, who was in the All-Star game, 21, 12, and 12. In this game, he set a franchise record for most triple doubles. He set one record, triple double record for the franchise. I'll have to come back tomorrow and give you that information. But he did get 5 blocks as well. Grady Dick, the rookie from Kansas, contributed 18 points. He's a shooter, or at least that's what looks like his role is. For the most part, went 4 for 4 from 3. Halliburton Didn't shoot the ball well at all. Only had 9 points, 2 of 11. Benedict Matherin he went to Arizona. I think this is his second or third year or so. He scored 34. Pascal Siakam 27. And the bench didn't really do too much. The Raptors did outscore them, but Ochai Agbaji scored 13 last night off the bench too as well. So it was just a good overall effort from Toronto. They're a young team, and I'm excited to see what they do. And I really think they could be a playoff team next year. Depends on what they do in the draft as well. But I feel like they might need a potential playmaker. I don't think they don't really have a playmaking point. I know Quickly is their point guard, but he's not really a true point guard. He's a scorer. So I think they do need a playmaking point guard that can try to run an offense or get an NBA vet to try to run the offense. I know Schroeder was kind of doing that before he got traded to Brooklyn, but I feel like that's what they truly need. The last game that happened last night was the Pistons and Knicks. So I saw the last few seconds, and I'm surprised there were no foul calls for Detroit. Not even a loose ball foul, nothing. And that's where I kind of draw the line where people are, say that Detroit is terrible. And they're not. They are bad, but they're not what everyone makes it out to be. Dante DiVincenzo collided with trying to find his name. He collided with one guy. He collided with no, wait. Yeah, he collided with Oscar Thompson, which any NBA player like LeBron or Russell Westbrook or any star, that would have been a foul call for him. And I know that Oscar Thompson's a rookie, but like that, I feel like could have been a foul. But it's either here nor there. As far as what the stats say, turnovers, Detroit turned the ball over. They shot better too from the field and from three, and free throw percentage as well. So like it was a hard game for them to lose, and this is what happens. This has been half of their games. Detroit, they have a lead, and then sometimes something happens, and they lose momentum somewhere along the line, and it's just unfortunate for them because it's Detroit, and I just in a way feel sorry for them and for their fans because they're playing hard. It's not like they're not. It's just with games like this, it's tough to lose. They came back in the fourth, and unfortunately wasn't able to get it done. But Brunson had 35. Hart and DiVincenzo had combined for 44 between them two. Bogdanovich scored 13. Burks got 7 off the bench. And Detroit, like I said with Stewart, this is his last game suspended. But as far as last night, Cade Cunningham had 32. Ivy 3 of 10 from the field, so he didn't shoot the ball too great, but he had 14. Jalen Duren, 11 points, 16 boards, and 4 assists, stealing a block. So, he's not the focal point of the offense. He wasn't really that efficient either last night. 4 of 11. It's not bad that they both missed 7 shots, Ivy and Duren, but in games like this, against the Knicks, who are top 5 team in the East, you have to play almost perfect. But they didn't have bad games. No, Duren didn't double. Ivy, would be a bad game for him just because he only had 3 assists as their point guard, I guess. Because Detroit doesn't have a true point guard either, so that would be something to look for as well if you're Detroit. But yeah, that's what happened in the NBA. Very, very quiet night with only 4 games. Tonight, there's a shit ton of them. But yeah. So I was trying to figure out what to do for top 10 Tuesday. I could have gotten top 5, but there's just so many things that I could have done. But Blake Griffin isn't coming back to the NBA. He's stepping away. I don't know. It didn't really say if he was retiring, but most likely he is. His legs are gone, and and the reason why he's stepping away is because he sources say that he wanted to spend it with his family. His kids are getting older, and he's getting older, and he wanted to spend time with his family, which is definitely a good reason. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just glad that I got to see him play in his prime and growing up as well. And so in my top 10 Tuesday, I am doing my list of top 10 dunkers of all time, regardless if it's in-game, dunk contest, Olympics, whatever, what have you. I'm gonna give an honorable mention. There's a lot of honorable mentions that I could add, that I could put in there. Dwight Howard for being Superman in the dunk contest and his poster dunks. Derrick Rose is another honorable mention. John Morant, Anthony Edwards with some of his posters he's had already in his career. Obviously Clyde Drexler and Kobe, but there's tons of honorable mentions. But these are the list that I had, that I made, and we're gonna start off with number 10, and that is Dr. J. I mean, he in his time with the ABA, with the cradle dunk against the Lakers, and he was one of the guys, as far as history of dunking, you have to put him in here. His dunks with the Nets and the way he looked in the air with the fro and for his era, he was one of the best. He was the best dunker in his era. Hall of Famer, dunk contest. I think he won the dunk contest when he played, but basically the godfather of dunking, and you had to put him in here, or at least I did, for as far as dunking purposes. Number 9, I have Shaq. I mean, if you don't put Shaq in here, not only was he just a force in the paint when you stepped in or when you're trying to defend him, he also he shattered. I think this was a high school goal or just rec center. He broke the backboard. It was a glass backboard, broke it, and then in the NBA, he pulled one goal down, and then the other one, he made it go back down. But yeah, 7-footer, tons of dunks that he had over his career. Dunked on David Robinson, the All-Star game. That one famous, can't remember who he dunked on, but he played for the Knicks, and he, basically pushed him down to the ground. That's one of his famous ones, and dunked on multiple people in his career. I have Aaron Gordon at 8, and last year he had a dunk that was an offensive foul. I don't know how in the world it was. I know that he was set, but I don't know if he was in my opinion, he was barely set. I feel like he dunked over him. It should have been a blocking foul, because LeBron did that in Miami against Paul Millsap, and they didn't call it nothing. So I feel like they should have called it a block at least, because when you're dunking like that, it's kind of hard to call it offensive foul. And for me, it's hard to call it a foul at all, because if it, are you going to try to reward the offensive player for jumping and at least getting the basket, or are you going to reward the defender? And that's where, as a referee, that's kind of probably where he was at. But he had the famous dunk contest with Zach LaVine. I mean, I really feel like he should have won that one, Gordon. But LaVine was able to win it. But he did get it robbed with Derrick Jones Jr. Fuck you, Dwayne Wade. Respectfully, respectfully. Just felt like there was some heat bias there. But yeah, he should have won that one. And as far as in-game dunker as well, I mean, he can fly for being 6'9", and yeah, he's my 8th. Zach LaVine is 7. Just because he can it seems like when he jumps, he just flies with ease. Just seems like he doesn't have to have a lot of effort to jump. Monster dunks in Minnesota, and when Lonzo Ball is playing with Zach LaVine, that is one of the best duos as far as point guard, shooting guard combinations as far as lobs, because his brother, Lonzo's brother, LaMelo, does it with Miles Bridges. So those, Lonzo making the passes to LaVine and on the fast breaks are just awesome to see, and even the half court too. But yeah, I have Zach LaVine 7. Russell Westbrook, I had to put him around the top 5 just for his position. He's a point guard, and he's the most. I know Ja will probably be the most athletic point guard as far as vertical leap and ability, but Russell Westbrook I would say he's the best point guard dunker of all time. I know Ja has lots of years to play, but I mean, Russell Westbrook dunked on Rudy Gobert. He dunked on Thon Maker. He's dunked on a lot of guys, and just the force and the tenacity that he attacks the rim with is it's vicious. And I just think that when you hear some of his dunks from the microphones, I mean, it's just like, oh. But yeah, he's number 6 for me. Derrick Rose would have been that if he didn't get hurt, but I mean, Russell Westbrook I feel like was a better dunker anyway than Derrick Rose. But yeah, I have Russell Westbrook at 6. Top 5, I have LeBron. I'm a LeBron guy, but I just it was hard between him and Jordan, just because Jordan. I put Jordan ahead of LeBron just because Jordan is, as far as elevation and vertical, has a higher vertical, and the hang time is there. But as far as power dunking, LeBron's got Jordan beat. But LeBron's been dunking ever since he's been in the league at 18, and I just feel like Jordan is a little bit better as far as dunking. Plus, Jordan won the dunk contest twice, so that's why I have Jordan over LeBron. But yeah, I have LeBron 5, Jordan 4. And what can you say about Jordan? Dunked on Mutombo. Had his runs with the Pistons, and LeBron having Jason Terry, the KG dunk when he was in Cleveland, and I think he dunked on Ronnie Brewer as well in Cleveland or something. But yeah, LeBron 5, Jordan 4. Blake Griffin, like I was mentioning earlier in the segment, I have him number 3. As far as a power forward, he's the best power forward dunker. I know you could have put Sean Kemp in here, but I mean, a dunk. He said something about throw-ins and stuff. I mean, yeah, I understand your point, Sean, but Blake Griffin was unstoppable in the fast break and just in the half court. Blake Griffin dunked on Gallinari, Mozgov, Perkins, dunked on Pau Gasol several times. And even when he was with Detroit, I mean, he still had some pretty good dunks there. Brooklyn, he dunked on Giannis. So, even and that was when his legs were failing because he didn't dunk as much in Detroit. Um, so I have Blake Griffin 3, and he won the dunk contest as well as a rookie. Um, so yeah, I feel like he was the third best in-game dunker. 2, I got Dominique. We already know who number 1 is, but we'll get to him in a second. Dominique Wilkins dunked on Larry Bird, and the same thing with Russell Westbrook. Not only the viciousness that he brought to the rim, but he also brought just the sheer power that he brought. Also, dunk contest winner, 2-time dunk contest winner. I mean, there's really nothing else to say, but just watch out. And I mean that those dunks in the '80s, man. I mean, very rare. There's not a whole lot of guys that dunk like him anymore. And if they are, it's in the fast break and not in the half court setting. I guess just athletes were just built different back then, man. Like, it's just crazy that no one was afraid of getting dunked on. You just rose up, and if you got dunked on, you got dunked on. If not, good defense. But Dominique Wilkins is the second best dunker of all time. And number 1 is Vince Carter, dunk contest winner. Dunked until he was in his 40s. He can still dunk in his 40s now. Several posters. Obviously, one with his most famous one is one with Alonzo Mourning when he was in New Jersey. But he dunked over somebody in the Olympics. Like, he didn't have to push off, push up. He flat out jumped over him in the Olympics. And that was when he was really young in his career. And but yeah, I mean, same thing with all these guys. I mean, it for him it was so effortless. And like we will never see a dunker like Vince Carter ever again. Not only with the power and the vertical leap ability, but the amount of control he had in the air with the ball. Because in that Alonzo Mourning dunk, he like cocked it back and then he went up and dunked over him. But yeah, on the fast break with all these guys, you better get out the way because these guys are coming in, going to the rim on a mission to dunk all over you. I mean, I don't really have. So this is my fault. I didn't really have a lot of time to set this up because I have school in about an hour. So I had trouble finding a segment to do, but I just felt like with honoring Blake Griffin's retirement, that I needed to do something for him. And but yeah, Blake, top 5 dunker of all time in my book, buddy. But yeah, he's one of the best athletes we've ever seen in the NBA, and future first ballot Hall of Famer for me. I will tell you guys if Colt Keith plays today and Spencer Jones, if they play as well. I'll see if Gentry also plays too. But tomorrow, tomorrow, throwback. No, it's Wishful Wednesday tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.